Now it's perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our August meeting. A lot of fireworks, a lot of opportunities, and we are planning to change the format of it. But as we get your feedback, we will be keep changing it as you go along. Though, as you know, that Free Canada is for you. It's all about investors. We started many years ago, 30 plus years. But you should know that we also contribute back to a community, though. So those who have never been to Habitat of Canada or never been to the reuse store, please, if you can volunteer some time as a corporation, as an individual, or if you have leftover material, you can donate it, get a tax receipt, or you're going to buy some material dirt cheap, go to a reuse store, again, run by Habitat of Canada. Thank you so much for you doing that. So, Canada, there is all kind of different news you might have heard. Economy is booming and unemployment rate is getting lower. Canada created about 75,000 jobs. What does that mean? Who this job is created for, how it's going to affect them, and so on, though. Just be aware that what you see, what you hear are some different things. But again, this information came from Stat Canada. Something I like to talk very quickly about it, what exactly is happening across Canada. So, is a brutal correction going on in Vancouver? The bench prices are down by 10% in Vancouver. Calgary have slowed down quite a bit. Condos are taking a lot longer time. And Edmonton sales have plunged by 11%. Montreal is different ball game. Is still a great market, about 10% of appreciation. Halifax, Maritimers, everybody's rushing to Halifax, and it's been a great run. And now the prices have started falling down quite a bit. Winnipeg, great place to invest for a long-term basis. Going to rise about 5%. Sales are down, but it's okay. Canada, the interest rates. Well, we're going to have arguments about it. I believe that's my personal opinion. It has no value, but again, opinion only. That interest rate may gonna go up in December or a little earlier. Why? There are many reasons for it, though. And power sales, the foreclosed listings are rising like crazy in Ontario, by the way, and people are losing $3 to $5 million. Ooh. What else is there? A lot of tech sales are up in BC and Ontario. Again, it's all across Canada, but there are quite a bit, and a lot of homeowners are going to lose everything not paying the property taxes. A very painful procedure, but that's what it is, though. Unemployment rate has dropped finally slightly, but again, we will see how long it lasts altogether, though. So, what exactly happening to Canadians? We are getting into more and more into debt, and one of the worst debt you can have the credit card. Start from 18 to 42%. It can be devastating. One out of four Canadians are expecting they're going to make a minimum payment, and 7% they say are going to fall behind. Bankruptcies, solvencies are up, by the way, and nearly 1.5 million Canadian missed a payment. And that is not very good. This information came from Equifax, by the way. Uh, most of you have asked us again and again, and we do our very best to provide you, hey, where are we getting information from? If you would like to verify information, please do so. So who else is grabbing a lot of real estate? And we call it a dip in real estate when the property value drops and there's no buyers. There's a company called BST Canada. It's a division of Israeli real estate giant, and they are in the process of acquiring a lot of real estate. And how many residential units they have? They got already 487, and there are a lot more to go. And what about these investors? What do they have in common? Well, they have institutional investors behind them. And if you are not utilizing joint ventures, private money, owner financing at 0%, no payments for 5 years, 10 years, you might be missing the boat. It's a great time to invest, provided you have a positive cash flow. You can you can go through a bit of a situation where the rentals market can be softened at times, but at times certain market can be good, very good actually. So it all depends. And we may gonna go through a bit of a disturbances because of the new tariffs and so on. So I think we have still a bit of challenges ahead of us though. So who's becoming the biggest seller, home seller? The banks. Now, when the banks sell a piece of property, what are they required? To sell it at fair market value. But sometimes the banks don't want to be the bad guy, and more or less they kind of indirectly or directly and say, hey, get rid of the property. It's called forced sale. And sometimes the sellers, when I say, okay, I want to walk away from my property with dignity, not be kicked out by the sheriff or going to become homeless. So if you're looking into it, there could be great good opportunities for this thing. So here's a question today in the Financial Post. This thing was interesting, got my attention yesterday. The houses we are building, who are they for? Are they for average Canadians? Anybody like to comment on it? Any of the panel holder? Anybody?
Maybe it's for newcomers.
Well, it is for not average Canadian because average Canadian doesn't have income, and average Canadian is going to become more or less a renter. And this is disturbing because we want to have more people to participate. Randy?
Sorry, I'm working off my phone here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um there well we've known for quite a while that we have a shortage of housing, but also the affordability is challenging as well. So
Right.
you have many more people who are looking to rent, and there wasn't enough housing at the time, so they started building purpose built rental
Right.
buildings, which we hadn't seen in a very long time because all the condos started coming up,
Right.
right? And people aren't able to even afford the condos, even though the condo market's, suffering. So here we have rental buildings now. So back at it again.
Well, the way the new homes are coming up, they are way too expensive. It's not for an average Canadian, though. Whether it is Toronto, Vancouver, even across Canada, even the smaller towns, it's becoming a lot more difficult, though, right? We're going to move forward with this thing. Okay. Can you see, are you able to see my screen yet or no? Okay.
No.
No screen? Okay. Get it out. I put a pause on it. I don't know how to move the pause. This was something in the, let me see.
It's still, we don't see it, Uncle.
Sorry?
We don't see it, it's just black square on the presentation.
Is that back?
Yeah, now it's back.
All right. So here is some the shocking fact, and this fact is over 14,000 Canadian homeowners are behind more than 90 days. That is pretty bad, actually. And one of the things which Bank of Canada has warned us, about 10% of GTA homeowners may not be unable to refinance their property. So what does that mean? It means that there are a lot of more people who could lose homes, unfortunately. The delinquency rate jumped quite a bit in BC as well as Ontario, but Ontario is becoming terrible. And if you happen to know somebody, if you can help them to downsize it, consider it a blessing. Sometimes you don't have to buy a piece of property. You can, with your knowledge and experience and all the upgraded high income skills you have with real estate, you can help fellow Canadians though. So here's another part of it, and this is about Toronto home prices. This is the lowest in last, for many, many years to come. You notice that the prices in July, if you look from 2021 to 2026, it has been steadily declining. And on the other hand, talking about mortgages, this is a very tricky subject, by the way. Those who are renewing it, I got a few suggestions for you. Even I was talking to Frank Fernandez about it. Let's say if you have a 5-year mortgage, don't go sleep on it. In between the 5-year term, if the interest rates go further down, is it worth it to pay a penalty and save a lot more money? And it go vice versa. So don't take a big debt of $1 million on your house and forget about it. Don't. See what can you do? What can be done? Check with several various systems. Get yourself educated. This is the biggest debt you're ever going to have in your life, though. And some of the information which is popping up, you may gonna find it's a bit scary, but it's okay to be prepared than not being prepared, though. Real estate return is 5%, stock return is 8.9%. This is the argument you are going to get. But can you leverage as much as real estate? Can it service? Can you build a portfolio? So there are a lot of pros and cons, by the way. The reason I bring it in from last 3 years, since 2022, or almost like 4 years, people are saying, I'm not going to invest in real estate ever. Okay, fine. And I'm investing in stock market. So they got an argument. I just thought I'd share with you. This information came from Global Mails, CREA, BMO, and Hope and Remax. That's how I should share with you. So debt, the word, dirty word in everybody's mind, make us uncomfortable. Average Canadian have about 226,000 debt. That's a personal debt, apart from the mortgages. Just be aware, some of you have might more, some might have less. This is the debt we have all together, though. So real estate have two types of investors: speculators, which work on the freed, buy, or you're gonna miss the boat, or fear. This is not an investor; these are speculators who are buying. The real investors are in the market, looking into it, looking for a long-term scenario, though. Something about I like this quote: time, money, and knowledge. Whichever you need, use the other two to get it. Time, money, and knowledge. Knowledge get the money and time to become successful. And also don't forget to keep updating your creative real estate investing because things change rapidly. Right now, the way the market is today, it may not be in tomorrow the same way. Did we lose whatever we built in the last 10 years? Some of you may agree with me that whatever the appreciation we had for the last 10 years, or sorry, last 2 years have disappeared in 24 months. Whatever the appreciation we have for the last 10 years. 3-bedroom are the biggest demand for rentals. You can expect $3,500 a month rent. If you have a pigeonhole, bachelor, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, but again, this is the trend as we speak, though. This is something I like to share with you. Some of you think that developers don't make mistakes. When they make a mistake or an error, they cost them a couple $1 million. And they are required to give a mandatory condo guide. And because of that, there was a big error. I just thought I should share with you. And number of power sales. Are they up? Well, here's the chart. In 2023, if you look at the numbers, they are not slowing down altogether. So if you happen to be working with a Randy Goodman, or you work with yourself, or you work with a realtor, or you come across a deal, hey, if it's not for you, refer to Randy Goodman. She's a great realtor. Or somebody else you know. And if you look at the numbers, over 1,100% increase since August 2023. That's a scary number. But on the other hand, is opportunities. A lot of opportunities for us. So this is a little thing in one very good neighborhood, 3,600 square feet property. Loss is 550,000. This is a 5.7 million loss. That's in Vancouver, by the way. How much they paid? They paid 13.7 million in 2017, almost 10 years ago. They just sold for 8 million. That's a humongous piece of property. Here's in Brampton. It got sold yesterday. Yesterday, 2 acre of lot, fire damage piece of property. They paid 5 million in 2023 and just got sold yesterday under power sale. It's a damaged property, fire damage property, and it sold for 2.1 million. 2.1. Again, lost about $3 million. It's a very deal code, by the way, in case you happen to know this area. And this is another area, Lincoln, which is St. Catherine area, where we had floods last weekend. And this gentleman lost about 600,000 10 acres of land, lot as well. Again, it is brutal. If you don't have to sell, don't. If you can hold on to it, great. Otherwise, a lot of people are in trouble. This is a downtown Toronto, by the way. I don't know if some of you understand the word white glove living. Exceptional amenities out of Yorkville, about 1,650 square feet. They paid 1.9 and they sold for 1.2, cost for $705,000. Here's the great news. There are certain properties which are 6% in Toronto. 6% properties listed in the market in Toronto people are overbidding. They are paying more than what they're asking for. So this piece of property was listed for $995. It's totally outdated house, but because of the land and the value, it got sold for 1.625, $630,000 more. 100-year-old building. It is a brilliant, it's one of the best location in Toronto. 14 bids came in, and hey, this is real estate. You're gonna see the contrast of it. How do you look at it? Well, property after property, neighborhood after neighborhood. Last month, an average home lost for $55,000. Prices are down, sellers are panicking, buyers are holding, something has to give. And some areas have taken a little bit more brutal than otherwise. But again, that's real estate though. We talk about Vancouver, the market has not collapsed, but didn't have bounce. It's not vanished. I do believe that they are going to allow possibly next year the foreign buyers to come in and buy residential property, and we shall see as the cookie crumbles. So, having said all that, we are going to bring one of the world's top bestseller, international seller. She is the top-notch realtor in Toronto. She's a broker. She happened to be my sister, Randy Goodman. Randy, it's all yours.
Thank you, my brother, and welcome everybody, and thank you for having me again. So I apologize if I'm looking elsewhere because I have, anyway, computer issue.
Okay.
So I apologize.
Not to worry.
So there's some really interesting things happening in the GTA real estate market right now. And I think if you're an investor, you have to look at the numbers a little differently than someone who's simply buying a home to live in. The July numbers got a lot of attention because the average GTA selling price dropped almost $55,000 from June to July. But for me as an investor, that's actually not the number I'm most interested in. I'm more interested in what's happening underneath that number. So in July, as Navtaj was saying, we had 5,995 sales, and that's only 0.9% below July of last year. So buyers haven't disappeared, but new listings were down almost 18% year over year. So we're seeing fewer properties coming into the market while sales are holding relatively steady. And that tells me something important. The market is changing, but it's not simply falling apart. In fact, Treb says market conditions tightened during July because sales represented a larger share of the available listings. And that's where I think investors need to start paying attention. Because when you're an investor, you're not just asking, is the market going up or down? You're asking, can I buy this property at the right price? Does the income support the purchase? Sorry. What is my cost of financing? And what happens to my return if the market doesn't appreciate for several years? Well, that's a very different way of looking at real estate. And I think we're moving into a market where that kind of analysis is becoming much more important. During the boom years, appreciation could hide a lot of mistakes. You could overpay for a property, have mediocre cash flow, and tell yourself it'll be worth more next year. That's a much harder strategy to justify today. The property has to make sense. And that's true whether we're talking about residential investment property or commercial. With residential, I'm looking at things like rent, expenses, financing, vacancy, and ultimately the cash flow and potential appreciation. With commercial, obviously the analysis gets even more specific. I'm looking at the income stream, the quality of the tenants, lease terms, operating expenses, financing, cap rate, and what that property could be worth based on its income. And here's where I think this market could actually become interesting for investors. When markets get more challenging, you sometimes get opportunities that simply aren't available when everybody is competing for everything. You may find a seller who's highly motivated. You may find a property that's been sitting on the market and the seller's finally willing to negotiate. You may find an owner who has a financing or renewal issue and needs to make a decision. Or you may find a property that isn't particularly exciting to the average buyer, but the numbers make sense to an investor. And I think that's the distinction. Investors shouldn't necessarily be looking for the cheapest property. They're looking for the best opportunity. A property that's 10% cheaper isn't necessarily the better investment if the income is terrible. And a property that's more expensive isn't necessarily a bad investment if the fundamentals are strong. So when I look at July, I'm not just sitting here saying the market's crashing. I'm thinking the market is becoming more selective. Buyers have more negotiating power than they had during the frenzy. Sellers are having to be more realistic. Inventory is actually tightening, and that combination can create some very interesting opportunities, but you have to be prepared to recognize them. And I think that's probably the biggest shift for investors right now. We're moving away from investing based on hope and back towards investing based on numbers. Don't buy because someone tells you the market is going up. Don't buy because something is $100,000 cheaper than it was 2 years ago. And don't assume that because the GTA average is down, everything is suddenly a bargain. Run the numbers, look at the property, look at the income, look at the financing, look at the neighborhood, look at the tenant, if it's commercial, and then decide whether the opportunity makes sense for you. Because I think the investors who do well in this kind of market aren't necessarily the ones who predict the bottom. They're the ones who recognize a good deal when it appears. Thank you.
Any question anybody have, please put it on the chat if you like. And we have a link in the chat. We have a real Canadian Real Estate Investors channel on WhatsApp. You can welcome to join it. We will intend to post some of the leads and current situation. It's absolutely free to join. Please feel free to join us. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. Hang in there. And once again, you're going to contact Randy directly, 647-284-7601, as you can see it on your computer. All right.
Thank you.
We're also going to bring our real estate lawyer, and there are always something about law. And people know a lot of so-called speculators and people who didn't pay attention did not thought that they should review each and every contract before signing it. Dotted lines, whether you're a developer whether you're buying resale or assignment, the lawyer play a very key role. It's another safety check for you. If you don't have it, hey, it's like another vetting process. And they make sure that whatever you're signing it, you're able to deliver. You understand what is going on, though. So without any further ado, Jyoti Chaudhary, are you here, my friend?
Yes, I'm here, Nav.
Jyoti?
Thank you, Nav, for the lovely introduction as always. And it's a pleasure to speak to all of the audience and the participants. Today, I will be speaking on Tarion. For those who are not aware of what Tarion is, that's the organization that is there for the new home buyers and to protect the deposits when they book homes from the builders. Now, there are new changes in deposits which are coming to Tarion. Tarion changes to deposit protection are aimed to fight illegal activity and protect new home purchases. So sometime in 2024, there was some public consultation, and subsequent to that, Tarion has taken action to address illegal activity and protect current and future new home purchasers. So what used to happen was, there are a lot of builders who are not licensed, who will not give quality material. So now Tarion is coming up with this new law, which has started April 1st, 2026. It was supposed to have started on January 1st, 2026, but starting April 1st, 2026, new freehold home purchasers will need to provide notice of the new home purchase to Tarion within 45 days of entering into an agreement of purchase and sale with a vendor or builder. Now, this is basically more for townhomes, not for condos, because condos have different criteria. So freehold purchasers who provide this notice will qualify for the maximum amount of deposit coverage currently available under the warranty program. As you know, Tarion is the organization that looks after any defect and provides warranty to the product that the builders give. So you have your PDI and you tell them all the defects that are there in the building, in the construction, and they have about 7 years to remedy them. Basically 1 year, but it can go up to 7 years. And that is the main purpose of the Tarion organization, to provide warranty to the purchasers of new homes. And purchasers who do not register or register later will qualify for coverage under a separate fund that is capped at 15 million annually. Additionally, Tarion is proposing regulatory changes to implement a transition period and defer the changes to deposit coverage to provide more help to consumers. So basically, purchasers who have not registered with Tarion as of April 2026 will have more time, and there is a period of transition which they can avail of. Now, as far as the condo market is concerned, they don't have to do this because the condos are covered by their own set of regulations, and that is why this step of registration is not required for condos. The reason why this has been done is because a lot of illegal building and selling of new homes was a serious problem that was hurting consumers. So now when the purchasers notify Tarion about the purchase, it'll allow them to verify that the builder is licensed and selling homes legally. If they're not licensed, Tarion can take immediate action in partnership with the Home Construction Regulatory Authority. So this notification or this notice that has to be given to Tarion can be done by the purchaser himself or herself, or it can be facilitated by a real estate lawyer or even a real estate agent. There are forms to be filled up, and in case anybody needs help with these, we are there to help you out. And next time, maybe I can speak in more detail about what is required for giving the notice and how to do it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you. Appreciate it. Those who got any questions, please feel free to call her directly, or you can text her directly on her cell phone, which you can see it at 416-880-8759. And Jyoti is the lawyer from India, UK, and Canada, and she's very well respected in the real estate investment industry, by the way. Thank you, Jyoti, once again. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right. Moving forward, if we could move it up. So those who have not joined it, please make sure that you are a member of freecanada.com. There's a small fee just to cover all the expenses. And so here is some scenarios. What sector of real estate is pretty hot as we speak? Where are the opportunities for next 20, 30, 40 years? This will be in the senior housing. This is on fire, by the way. So we are going to become a country where we have 1/4 of our old population is going to be over 65. And people are living till 95, 105. And let's even assume they're 80, 85. So they are looking to rent a place for 20, 25 years. There is no need to worry about their job because they are retired and they have the money. They are not party poopers and they're not going to switch around. So these are the long-term tenants, though. So if your strategy is to convert a single-family home to multi-units, if you're looking at some directions, we can assist you and help you to some degree. There are a lot of experts. Most of them are licensed and bonded. But again, the opportunity is there. But just don't jump in one particular area or one particular province or city. Be aware of it. Do your homework. Most of the people make mistake is not doing the proper due diligence, and then they feel stuck though. So how many seniors are we going to have? About 5.3 million in 2035. 95% occupancy. This is going to be a good one, by the way. This is going to be a very steady long-term investment. This is a senior home. This is just a fact. We have talked about it. Next thing we're going to talk about slightly is about taxes. Doesn't matter how you make money in Canada. There is somebody waiting for you. Before you get paid, they get paid first. These are the taxmen. How much taxes they get paid, how much you really get. When you make $1,000, do you really get $1,000? No. And by the time you bring the check home, then there are other people waiting for you. The property tax, the sales tax, the income tax, and tax on top of tax, gas tax. So taxes are a big problem. Before you start investing in any business, make sure you get pros and cons and get a good CPA, whoever CPA you are more comfortable with, and say, hey, how can I reduce my taxes? And this is for life learning. This is not for only one-time deal. If you're a 15-year-old or you're 55 or 95, this strategy will help you quite a deal. CRA is cracking up on all those people who have sold pre-construction condos or houses. And they have recovered about $850 million. About 15,000 real estate orders have been done in 2024, 25, and they're still speeding up. Make sure that if you bought a piece of property, that you have a proper legal accounting and tax advice. Hey, whose name should I be buying it? Should I buy myself, my corporation, a partner, or the trust, whatever it is? And you need to understand, hey, anytime you made $1 or $2, how much tax dollar going to be taken away from you? You'll be shocked that some people pay 10 cents, other people pay 50% or 66%. It's okay to seek advice from licensed CRAs, not from something online or chat GPT, but that again, that's my opinion only. So rent report. This is something else you're going to find that if you are looking into it, this is something you get for rental.ca, by the way. It's very important if you have more than 2 or 3 units to rent, where the rental market is going in Canada, where market is soft, where market is going well, Maritimes is still booming, and other areas the market is softening up, especially when you have the shoebox or pigeonhole condos, they are not renting that well. But on the other hand, everything is rented but at a reduced rate though. So be aware of it. Again, if you wanted to do better, especially in GTA, even for long-term basis, three-bedroom tenants intend to stay for a lot longer time than compared to others. People do student housing, that's a different ball game. People do all kinds of different things. Okay, that's different. Those who are interested who pursue, hey, I never went to tax sale, go and check it out. And just Google whitby.ca and put the tax sale auction. It is happening, I believe, on Thursday. Not August 11th, I think it's 14th, I'm sorry. This date could be wrong, my apologies. I do believe it is on 13th, I'm sorry. And check it out if you find, and you can just Google it. It doesn't matter if you don't live in Ontario. If you happen to be in BC or you happen to be in Newfoundland or wherever you are, you can check it out though. Could be good opportunities for you. Those who are from Prairie, Saskatoon, this is going to be August 27th. This is going to be a different ballgame again. 306975 land, or you can just email land@saskatoon.ca. And you can go to City of Saskatoon land website and check it out at tax sale auctions though. Some tax sale auctions are trickier than others. Make sure you have a very good legal opinion who's expert in doing tax sales. It's lawyers, it's the CPAs, and you have the money to buy it. May not be able to finance it initially, and you might have to come up with all the cash. And one of the worst things you can do, not do the proper due diligence. You can end up buying a big lemon. You wish you have never touched that type of deals. Again, knowledge is power. Make sure you have updated information, updated strategies, and how you are going to get them, how you're going to make the best out of it. So here is some sort of a good news, bad news. When a headline say condos price is going to keep falling in 2026, is your property going to become a liability or opportunity for investor? Look at both ways. Look at the bright side. Are you able to pick up a decent piece of property in Vancouver or in Toronto when this price will keep dropping down? As a matter of fact, I saw a piece of property not too long ago. The property had one issue, it has a tenant in it. The real market value was 400,000 and the owner was willing to let it go for 200,000. So you have other liabilities, unable to maintain it, and there are opportunities out there. The other hand was somebody wanted to sell their condo, and I believe other investor made a offer. I'm not sure if it's gone through or not. They made an offer with no money down. They hold the first mortgage at 0% for first 3 years. First 2 years 0%. Third, fourth, and fifth year they pay 1, 2, and 3% interest rate, and again renewable for another 5 years at the same conditions though. So people they say, I don't care, I got my price, and now you got a piece of property where it become more affordable. So creative financing could be the key for you. There's something else. Those who have tenants, Equifax have a new service, by the way. You can prevent the fraud or identity. You can register yourself. It's called Credit Lock, by the way. Just Google the word Credit Lock by Equifax Canada. See how does it work. Can you lock your credit, make sure nobody can take steal your identity or so on. I believe it could be a very good condition. I do believe Quebec already have this privilege, by the way, and it's again provincially regulated. Just look into it. It can be very beneficial. if you are an investor, I strongly recommend you that you look into a credit lock through Equifax. I believe there's no cost to it though. So rates, one of the biggest nightmare for a lot of Canadians investors is the rates, interest rates, renewals. What are we gonna do? What can we afford it as our things are going up or down, and how it can be done? In every difficulty, bring opportunities. Every challenge has its own solution, though. Be aware of it. So, what's happening? This is shocking, really shocking. The data came from CMHC, and it says something that 68% of Canadians who are renewing their mortgage, they do not understand the difference between what is a variable mortgage, what is a fixed mortgage, what is a hybrid mortgages. And they're paying about $300 to $600 an hour. Unfortunately, our system does not give enough financial education. This is the biggest debt of your life. And just imagine 2/3 of Canadians do not know. Sad but truth. That's why we want you to speak to people like Frank Fernandez or other mortgage agents or brokers or managers. And don't be ashamed about asking any question. There's no such thing as stupid question. And you'll be surprised by knowing it. And also check into multiple options how you can get rid of your mortgage faster. There are several opportunities. I just made a little video about Smith Manover. We're going to be also doing about cash damming if you happen to have rental properties. There are ways to pay it off much, much earlier, and can your mortgage be a tax deductible? So just be aware of it. These things are possible. Frank, are you here? Frank Fernandez. Vladimir, is he here or no?
No, he's not here, Uncle.
Okay. Well, he just bought a bunch of properties. He's fixing them quite a bit, and he's quite a busy man. But I just thought I should let you know that next edition was, I'm sorry, this is the old one. So we're going to bring our good friend, a superstar, Vladimir. He's a gentleman. He's more of an action taker. He's not one of those guys. He will go acquire all the knowledge, practical knowledge, and he will implement it. And we have done a few deals together, by the way. Happened to have opportunity to work with him very closely in a few deals. I think we did one in Hamilton, one we did in a couple of other places. We also were able to flip a small apartment building as well. So he's one of those guys who's very precise, and I think that's part of his success. He acquires, but he does not know. He said, "I don't know. Just explain to me." He's willing to learn precisely. He don't tell him, 1 to 9 is 10. No, he said, what is one by one, step by step. So, Vladimir, what would you like to share tonight with fellow investors with your real life experience and your real life success?
I would like to share some information. You was just talking about tax sale, and you said you have to do your due diligence. And one of the things what we have to watch out, because sometimes owner has a CRA lien. For example, they didn't pay taxes, or they have corporation who didn't pay taxes. So then what CRA does, they put a lien on the property. And when you buy property on a tax sale, you just think you're just paying price of the property itself. But actually, it's a lot of string attached. So if you, for example, sometimes it can be as high as $500,000, even more, like CRA lien, or different, like some do like a work permit, and they didn't pay for some let's say HVAC guy or somebody did renovation, they can put the mechanical lien on the property, and everything that it's on top of the like price what you're buying on the tax sale, and besides that it's like much more, like you pay like all the taxes and stuff. So it's really, I would recommend you have to learn before you buy, because sometimes another thing is about sheriff sale. Me and Navtash and many like investors who took his training, we went on a sheriff sale here in Toronto, and we saw like bidding board when people was paying full price of the property for 50% of the ownership. So you have to be like really, really careful, and you have to know what you're doing, because sometimes people were saying they just buying full property, but actually they buying only like 50% or wherever that a person who sheriff is going after, like selling for. So it's really, really interesting when people think they have like deal of the lifetime. On the end of the day, they own like more than they pay for. So it's like sometimes you have to like dig a little bit deeper before you put your like final decision to buy.
You're absolutely right. We had a situation like this, and we were in a court. This young lady keep buying properties, not knowingly that she's buying half the property, and she's paying almost full price. So she's gonna be in the hole for $500,000 to begin with, and now she cannot change her mind either. So, and on top of that, she doesn't get the key, doesn't get the possession. Again, all these things are step by step. If you do not understand how this act works, what the legalities are, what obligations are, where you're going to get the financing, there are so many different steps. And one of the key step, one of the step we learned that people get panic very quickly. Vladimir did a deal in Hamilton where the gentleman had a piece of property which had some outstanding work orders. And not only we helped this gentleman to move out with a little bit more money than he was expecting, it turned out to be a very profitable deal for him at the same time. And once you start acquiring a property, when you start working on the property, getting the proper materials, labors, timings, all these things cost money. And if you don't have experience, for example, Vladimir wanted to build a deck. And I said, great. We didn't want to pay the contractor. He got the wood cut properly ahead of the time. And all these things matter. Save a lot of time, a lot of money. Something you need to plan ahead of it. You have to understand it, these costs, how you prevent yourself not to be project to be delayed, and then you deliver first class like we just utilize. Tell me about that door we put it in that Hamilton property.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because when sometimes you can buy like from very beginning, Navtash was saying, like if you have like extra material, you can share with the different stores, but you can do opposite. You can buy from the stores, and sometimes it's not as expensive. And let's say we just bought like really nice metal door, and we do like nice painting work on it, and it's look like brand new. And another thing what we did, it's also very beneficial when this person, like originally it was like 3 bedroom, but what he did, he just decided to make a like more open concept, so he make from 3 bedroom to 2 bedroom. And it's maybe it's more comfortable for him to live, but for a buyer, they would looking for a better to buy, they would rather spend a little bit more to have extra bedroom. And even like if it's extra washroom, it's better too. Sometimes you put extra washroom and property go up.
Absolutely. And one more thing what we learned from time to time is dirt cheap. It adds a lot of resale value. You know what is it? A big television and a fireplace.
Yeah.
And that does the magic to get a very good price, especially it's the winters, a little cooler. Even the fireplace is even electric. It adds a lot of value. Well, Vladimir, thank you so much and appreciate your input, my friend. Keith, are you there? Keith Martin? Is he here, Keith?
No, he's not here, Uncle.
Okay, no problem. All right, we're going to wrap it up tonight earlier, and we will be meeting on September the, I believe, 8th. The next meeting, September 8th, by the way. And we are getting a lot of feedback from you from time to time. If there's any particular strategy or something you would like us to discuss or bring it on the on this meeting, in September, October, or possibly we are going to reduce the time for this meeting to 45 minutes. We just want to get in, get out, simply because a lot of people have other things to do. And being on the Zoom, it's very difficult to stay on computer for 2-3 hours. So people say, hey, listen, can you reduce it? Sure, we can reduce it to 50 minutes. This is not leak it for 1 hour. But if we are able to do more for less time, that's what our goal is. Once again, thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciated you being here tonight. And we look forward to see you. Feel free to send your feedback, anything you have. And whatever you do, enjoy this beautiful summer, by the way, whatever we have left with. I think half the summer is gone. And we're going to be hitting September very soon, which a lot of people don't like that. But again, summer goes so fast, but January comes and stays. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, and take care and God bless. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.